recusal for the first two? I missed that part.
Probably going to need one just to explain the first two cases.
Okay.
Good evening, and welcome to the March 12th, 2026 BZA meeting of North Myrtle Beach. I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order. And Ms. Amber, if we could get a roll call.
Chairman McGonigal,
Here?
Andy Thomas,
Present.
Mendel Bell,
Here.
Joe Reeves,
Here.
Cynthia Lover, Wyman Wise. We have a quorum.
Great, thank you. If we'll take item number 2 on the agenda, we've got the minutes. If we can take a second to review those. And if we can get a motion to approve the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve Thursday, February 12th, 2026 as board meeting.
Great, thank you, Mr. Bell. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Thomas. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Caldwell, any communication from the city?
No, sir.
Great, thank you. And Ms. Amber, if you can go ahead and have everybody rise and get them to sworn in, so if they're planning on speaking.
If you plan on speaking, yeah, please rise. Do you solemnly state, under penalty of perjury, that the evidence you shall give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You may have a seat.
Great, thank you. Starting new business, we've got item number 1 and 2. I have to recuse myself, so I'm going to step out, and we'll let the Vice Chair take over. Thank you.
Mr. McGonigal, before you do that, maybe we should just explain to everybody the rules for the numbers.
Yep, have it go ahead.
tonight For all, we're a board of 7, and it takes a majority of the quorum to get your variance request approved. So we're short one member because she's got elected to city council. We have a quorum of 5 people here tonight, and it takes 3 votes to get your variance request approved. So you've got to get 3 out of 5 people on your side. What we normally do, and what we're going to do tonight as well, standard is if you would prefer to wait until we have a board of 7 that have your variance request heard, your odds could be better in getting it, because you would have a better chance of getting. Could you please talk into your microphone? I'm sorry. There. That we have a board of 7 people. We only have 5 people here tonight. So it takes 3 votes for yes to get your variance approved tonight. And what we normally do when we don't have a full board is we give people the option of continuing their variance request to a later meeting, to the next scheduled meeting, which would give them different odds on getting their variances approved, because then they would have to get 4 out of 7 instead of 3 out of 5. So we offer that option to everybody who has an item on an agenda when we have less than a full board present. So if there's anybody here that would like to take that opportunity and not have their variance request heard tonight, this would be the time to do that.
Great, thank you, Ms. Lover.
Okay. All right, so we have the first 3 items on the agenda are BZA 2601, 02, and 04. I'm sorry, the first 2 items, 01 and 02, and those are dealing with requests for landscaping and parking requirements at 1716 and 1802 South Ocean Boulevard. It's my understanding that there have been new parking plans and new perimeter landscaping plans submitted. There's also been an additional piece of property added to the parcel. That's, all of that necessitates that those variance requests be re-advertised because the details in them are not necessarily currently correct. And so they all need to be re-advertised, and so the applicant has requested that they be tabled tonight because they can't be heard as they are. So do I have a motion from anybody to have those?
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, we postpone BZA 26-01 and BZA 2602 to the next meeting.
Okay,
Second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the motion carries, then the first two items on the agenda will be rescheduled for a later meeting or the next regularly scheduled meeting. Okay.
All right, let's move on to the item number 3. We got BZA 26-04, an application by Kenneth Haynes for a variance of a side yard setback requirement for a proposed screen lanai to cover the existing swimming pool at 806 Myrtle Place, zone single family in the low-density residential R1 district. Mr. Haynes, come on up and introduce yourself, please.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Ken Haynes. I work for First Choice Enclosures. We build the pool lanais. Mr. Clinton was not able to be here tonight, so he had me file on his behalf. Essentially, I submitted a copy of the survey, but on the west side of the property, there's an area of the pool decking that we thought there was a 5-foot setback on the side, like a lot of lots, but it's actually 10 when we got the survey. So he's going into the side yard setback to cover the pool decking. If we don't get the variance, the pool enclosure is going to sit right on the edge of the water. So he'd have no access to the pool from that side, so for cleaning it out and whatnot. So that's why he's requesting a variance into the side yard setback so that he would, be able to and it'll create difficulty putting the footing in as well for us if we don't get the side setback, but it can be done. It would just look a lot better and be better for the homeowner and probably better for the community if it goes into the setback because it'll cover the decking that's already there.
Okay.
So, and I hope y'all had this. I uploaded it, but you have the survey that shows what I'm talking about?
We do.
Okay, very
Great.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions for the applicant?
I peeked over the fence. I didn't jump it, but I looked over the fence to see what I could see.
Yes, ma'am.
And so it looked like there was a lot of space over there on that side. You're saying between the pool decking and the fence, there's less than 5 feet?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it does actually. I was surprised as well when I first met with him. I didn't think we'd have a setback issue at all. But when he got the survey, I'm not sure if I didn't bother to look where that fence is. That fence may actually be the neighbor's fence. Maybe that's why it looks like so much more property than what it really is.
Okay.
But it looks like you've got about 15 to 18 feet, but just by eyeballing it, but it doesn't. It goes right through those pavers that's there on the decking. And
Okay.
that's why we'd have to tear all that up and put a footing there to attach the pool enclosure to. And it would be right on the edge of his water.
So what you want to do, I don't know how the lanais work exactly. So they just would not be on the pool decking. They have to be in the ground. They have to be in the dirt.
They have to be on a footer. So we were planning on putting a footer to the outside of the pavers. We can lift up the pavers and put the footing under there. It's mainly he's just wanting to keep a walkway so he can have access to clean the pool and for kids to jump in and climb out. It's kind of a safety issue if you're trying to climb out of the water and you're climbing into a screen enclosure.
And how high would the lanai be?
The overall height would be about 12 feet.
And would you be able to see through it?
Yes, it screens. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there's no version of it that would be enclosed, like they wouldn't put vinyl around it or anything in the
No.
winter time to windbreak, nothing like that.
The only thing you'd have are 2-inch by 6-inch posts every 6 feet or so.
Okay.
And then the framing, you would see the skeleton, but as far as the actual enclosure, you'd see right through it. It's just screens.
So there's no chance the neighbors would be looking at like some kind of a wall? and
No,
Right on
absolutely
the
not.
property line? Okay.
Not that we would build. I
Okay.
mean, yeah.
All right. I have no further questions.
Did you put the pool in? Did y'all put the pool in?
We did not, and the homeowner did not as well. It was there when he bought the house, and I guess he decided he wanted to enclose it because all the frogs and snakes and critters keep getting in there, and leaves and stuff as well. So that's why he wanted a pool enclosure. He didn't realize he was going to run into this. I didn't either.
It looks like when I'm looking at the plan, I look at the measurements. It looks like you got about 10 feet, and you roughly got about another 2 feet to the pool. Is that about
That's right.
accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry, so that, I do have one more question. How much of a variance is it that you're seeking?
That's what I was gonna
Oh,
ask.
it was, it's in my paperwork. I apologize.
It's a 10-foot required setback, 10.
10 feet's required, and how much,
It looks about half of that.
We're 5 feet.
feet, 5 feet? Okay.
Which would give you about 7 feet around the, getting out of the, in and out of the pool.
Well, when we put the enclosure up, we always inset to the inside of the footing as well. So it really would only be about 4.5 feet, but I'd rather have the 5 just to make sure. That would give him roughly 3 feet to walk around the pool.
Great.
All right.
Thanks. Give us a second. We'll
Sure thing, absolutely,
hear
thank
from
you.
the city, and we'll be back to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Caldwell?
Petitioner Kenneth Haynes has submitted an application for a 5-foot variance of the required 10-foot side yard setback at 806 Merrill Place, Zone Single Family Low Density Residential, R1 District. The setback for pool enclosures is 10 feet on the side yard within the R1 District. The applicant would like to have the pool enclosure built on the back of the house to enclose the existing pool. The proposed pool enclosure would encroach 5 foot into the required side yard setback. Swimming pools in-ground and unenclosed only require the 5-foot side yard setback. Staff recommends that the board review the variance application and attached plot plan, hear the evidence presented at the meeting, and review the ordinance provided.
Thank you, Ms. Caldwell.
You're welcome.
Hey, what is the setback? I see the 10-foot setback. Is that the actual setback for the building side?
That would be the setback required for the building and for the enclosure.
Okay. Is the notice sent on here, Ben, was is this a straight up variance, or is this going to be, I see the special exception request?
Those would be a variance because they're trying to vary the requirement of the 10-foot. They're
Of the
trying to
10 foot.
reduce it.
So,
Any questions for the city?
all right, looking at the accessory buildings and uses code, is that what you look at when you're looking at this?
Yes?
It's considered an accessory building, so it would go under 23-107?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it is in the accessory use
Okay, so
table.
basically you would consider it the same way you consider a garage or a
They're
shed?
separately called out, swimming pools are.
Okay,
And they say, within the R1 district, a 5-foot setback is required, but that's for the unenclosed swimming pool. The
That's right.
enclosure is just considered an addition to the building, needing to meet the same setbacks as the building, as the house. And in this district, because of the square footage and width of the lot, it's a 10-foot side yard setback.
Thank you,
so,
Ms. Caldwell.
okay, like I'm reading here, a swimming pool fence, that's different, that's a 5-foot setback.
That's a 5-foot setback on the ocean front, yes.
Swimming pools unenclosed and in-ground.
Did you find it?
I think so,
Okay.
yeah. Seems like if this was a garage, would it still have to be 10 feet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the city? Any questions for the applicant?
What we're charged with, Mr. Haynes, is try to find a hardship okay? I mean, I know it's inconvenient to do it, but, you know, as a board, we've got to find a hardship, either with the shape of the lot.
Yeah, I deal with that question a lot with variances with these because a lot of times the pools don't have, the decking does not have the same setbacks as a building setback. So what happens, people get a pool, then they decide a few years later, oh, I want an enclosure. And they don't understand why you can't just build it wherever you want to build it. So I end up in these, a lot of times they look at the hardship as, you know, having to work on the pool, but then again, in the grand scheme of things, is having a pool really a hardship at all? So I understand where you're coming from. I think the safety issue would be key because you're going to be right on the water edge. So if somebody were to be in trouble and try to climb out, they'd be climbing into a lanai. So that could be considered a hardship. Having snakes and critters like that in the pool could be considered a hardship. So having the lanai would do that. But the point with this one, and like I explained to Mr. Clinton, is you can build it without the variance. It's just going to be kind of ugly. I think it would be prettier and better if it's built into the setback, but
And we
setbacks
run
are,
into that problem a lot, where common sense sometimes doesn't get used in our ability to make a variance or give a variance or not, so.
I understood.
You were saying you could put it under the current decking, you would have to put another, that's what I'm trying to understand, but it would
there
be
are-
more difficult.
There are only pavers there now, so we have to have a footing to attach to. So we'd have to peel all those pavers back, pour a footing, and then reattach the pavers. But it would be within the setback then. But the decking, the lanai itself would sit basically about this close to the water's edge by the time it's built. So there's not much room for somebody to, you know, pull themselves up out of the water and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So, or clean and things like that. But
Right.
so that was why I was thinking it might, you know, like I said, it is a stretch for a hardship. I understand that completely, and I appreciate y'all seeing the case.
Mr. Caldwell, looking at this, and then, you know, you're roughly 2 feet off the pool. Does the state require a specific, is there a 5 foot around the pool from a safety issue?
There's nothing in the zoning ordinance about that.
I know from
don't
our
know
zoning
about
side.
the building code or any other codes that would require a setback from the edge of the water for the screen.
I know the answer.
Yep.
I do know the answer.
Okay.
There's not.
There's not,
Unless we are the fence, which there's already a fence, so we're not the fence. But if we are the fence, we have to have 19 inches of clearance. So we're not the fence in this case, so you can put it right on the edge of the water if you want to.
okay.
That probably doesn't help my case, but it's the honest
Yeah,
answer.
that's the case. We're just looking to see if there is any outstanding issues that we can help you with. Any other questions for the applicant? We've had these come up. Be nice to take a look at them since we're hearing these. Be nice to, let's take a look at them and see if there's any, because we've had this come up. The pools are put in. This one's a little even closer in than typically we've seen, so. But is anyone prepared to make a motion?
I'll make one. The sheet, ma'am, can I borrow that sheet that's right there in your hand? I think that's it. Thank you so much. I believe. Move that the board grant, the board deny variance BZA -2604, because the applicant has not demonstrated a hardship. There are not extraordinary and exceptional conditions pertaining to this particular piece of property. These conditions do generally apply to the properties in the vicinity. Because these conditions, the application of the ordinance, this particular piece of property would not prohibit or not necessarily restrict the utilization of the property. The authorization of the variance should not be substantial. The denial of the variance would not be a substantial detriment to the adjacent properties of the public good, and the character of the district would not be harmed by granting the variance.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. We got a second out of Mr. Bell. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amber, here you go. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. We've got item number 4, BZA 26-05, an application by Gillard Tannenbaum for variance of a signage allowances for a building on 201 Main Street within the Resort Commercial RC District. Come on up and introduce yourself for us. Thanks. Good.
Thank you for your time. So, I'm a little bit tall. My name is Gilad Tannenbaum, and I'm the authorized applicant for Palmetto Island, which is located on 201 Main Street. We took over this store from the previous owner on October. The name of the store was Kings at the Beach. When we took over, we decided to go through facade kind of improvements to make it look more appealing, and with partnership with the city of North Myrtle Beach, we got approved for the facade grant program. We are actually right now in the process of designing the signs for the building, and we didn't know that there is I guess a certain square footage that is that we can put on the building, which is I think 100 square foot total. So we are already currently investing significantly in renovating the building. We already started, and our goal is to enhance the appearance of the corridor and create an attractive corner presence. The additional square footage requested is, we believe, is the minimum necessary to provide proportional identification consistent with the site unique configuration. The property is one of 2 corner parcels along Main Street and Ocean Boulevard. There's only like 2 buildings on the corner, with dual frontage and intersection exposure. So unlike any other building on the corridor that they have only the front, the visibility is divided between 2 traffic approaches. Strict applications of the sign ordinance limits effective identification in a way that does not affect interior lots. I do have, I printed 7. I don't know if I can hand it to you, or if you can see the differences between the size that we offered or what is allowed, and you'll see the difference with the building. I don't know if you have that.
We do.
Yeah. So if you'll go to,
He's got
Oh.
2 different ones.
I see.
No, what he wants to show us is one with big letters and one with little letters.
So this one right here is what we proposed, and what is actually, I think, permitted is this, which you can see that this building has about 106 foot of frontage. The proportion of the sign will be very, I would say, small to the building. We're trying to make this corner looks very nice. We're investing a good bit of money in it, and I hope we can do that, and you'll agree. Thank you.
Is it going to be a retail? Is it going to be a retail operation?
Yes, sir.
Is it-
the building right now, the previous owner kept it with a stucco facade with different colors, green, and which for us it doesn't look very appealing, and we wanted to give it more of a modern look. And we believe that when we will be done, also a lot of people in the area would like to, and I know the city is actually very excited about it, to have more people kind of renovate that corridor and bring their facades to look more attractive. So we are the pioneers, maybe. I don't know.
Good job. The plan looks very nice.
Thank you very much.
Any questions for the applicant?
So you want the large,
You can see in this one,
add one side.
this is what we proposed. You will see all three entrances
Okay,
and the proportion of the size to the size of the sign to the, I guess, the frontage of the entrance. You'll go to the next page. You will see the smaller one on each entrance, and you will see that even if we do a smaller sign on the main street entrance or the other side and not the main on the boulevard, it still looks very, very small and really not. I mean, I think it does the opposite than what we want to do for the building. So you can see the difference between the two sizes.
so if I'm looking at what you have up there in the bottom of in the center thing there at the bottom, it says 18.7 square feet, is that right?
Which one?
Oh, just what you just had up there. I'm
Okay.
noticing on each of these,
Oh, yes, yes,
the
I see
middle,
that. I
like
see.
there it says, one of them says, that I have says 40.2 square feet. And then that one you just had up there had 18.7. I was
Thank you, Mr. Cole.
You're welcome.
Hey, we've got this picture right.
There's, in the type of product he has, is there a minimum lot size
In reserve, commercial,
for a retail operation?
we built so little new things in RC, I don't recall what the lot width is. Can you look that up, Elton?
I think it
It's-
depends on what's on there, right?
He's looking it up now. Lot width is non-applicable for other uses that aren't listed, and the only uses listed are residential, multifamily dwelling, and mixed use. So this would be a retail operation. There wouldn't be a required lot area. I mean, lot width.
How about lot area?
I said lot area, I meant lot width. There's not a minimum lot width in RC.
Okay.
Near, because we got, what, at 1.5
Not in the sign ordinance, no.
on the sign on this.
If you divided that building up, in 3 separate businesses, then you could get the 100 square foot and put it on each door, right?
It said total signage area per location shall not exceed 100 square foot.
Even if you had 3 separate
Per
businesses
location.
in there, if you divided that building up into 3 separate businesses?
I think altogether, it would be limited to 100 square foot if there was 3 businesses in there.
Because the lot line wouldn't change.
If they were on separate lots, that building, then 300 square foot for 3 tenants, if they were on separate lots.
Does city council have an interest in putting this in a special exception rather than a variance?
Make a whole lot.
I mean, it's just
More
because
sense.
I mean, you're seeing this more and more with the signage ordinance.
That's something that if you wanted them to review, you could make that recommendation.
Because didn't they just do the whole facade ordinance as well? And given the fact that they're giving him, he's getting money to upgrade his facade,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Just trying to.
And we see this, because the zoning rules are written for one lot, 50 feet by 225. And yet, just like we had on the alley oops, it was 6 lots, quite a bit bigger. If there's a way we could look at it, so we have we work within thresholds that city council sets and staff sets, and then we'd have the ability to make special exception decisions, would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. It'd be nice if the signage could be proportionate to the building.
For sure.
If you got a,
And/or the frontage of the building, or the frontage of the building facing a road, something like that.
You got 2 roads here.
and that's what, that's the whole
Yeah,
thing. You got two
roads
roads.
here.
You're limited just because it's a per location. I agree 100%.
And you look at it from, Mr. Reeves pointed out, if this easily could be 2 to 3 businesses.
No doubt.
So now you're trying to make the right common sense decisions.
And you're spending all this money fixing the facade, and you're not even gonna be able to read the name on the building.
Right. No, I agree.
Driving by,
Yeah.
if you don't give them adequate,
Have you started construction? You have? 3 days ago?
Well, excuse me, come up to the, I'm sorry, my fault. Come on up to the microphone, thank you, so we get it for the record.
So we did start about 3 days ago, and we're planning to have this going for about 3 to 4 weeks. We wanted to start manufacture the signs because we didn't want to enter the season and to interfere with, visitors and tourists around. But we kind of hold on with the sign until we'll figure it out. So, but the facade is being already being upgraded.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
Yep, nope, give us a second. Let us finish up what we're doing, then we're definitely gonna ask for public comment. So give me a second, thank you.
I have a question for the city. If I recall from the past things we've looked at on signs, he has no restrictions on what he could put inside the windows, correct? Like over the doors, he could put something big and ugly neon signs that said Palmetto Island, and that wouldn't even be subject to the sign ordinance. Is that true?
Our sign ordinance doesn't allow more than 25% of the inside of the windows to be covered, but we don't regulate it as signage.
I mean, he's got a lot of windows. He could just put something really big over the door and it would be tacky looking and not as good looking as what he wants to do. I mean, there's no limit on what people could see if he wanted to do it that way.
May I? That's another good point. The previous owner had a lot of stickers and signs on the windows, which really made it look like a bazaar kind of thing. And we are also in the process of removing all of these stickers and everything. We want to have like clean windows that you can see through, and excuse me, and a really nice, clean, modern look. So our vision is to have a clean looking building without the look of stickers on the windows, and because they did that. I mean, they have a lot of square footage of stickers and signs that are stuck to the windows.
Okay.
And that will be removed, actually, as we speak.
My other question for the city is, you're not counting these circular things with the palm trees inside of them as signs. So if he took the palm tree out of his signs and he put this palm tree he put the palm tree somewhere else on the facade and it just said Palmetto Island, which made his signs bigger, he could still do that too, right?
Correct.
So he could just have a palm tree, add some palm trees in there and just have the words Palmetto Island. He doesn't have to have it all together. So that's another way for him to avoid it, which to me is a reason for why we should give him the variance, because he has so many ways around it. And what he's trying to do is make it look nice without us trying to tear it apart.
Agree.
My thoughts.
Yep. Any other questions for the city or the applicant? Okay, good to hear from the public. Come on. And just introduce yourself, please.
Jolene Puffer, do I need to give my address as
Y-
well?
Yeah, if you don't mind, input that, thanks.
Jolene Puffer, 3506 Turner Avenue. I'm a little confused because Alley Oops had a similar situation and they were granted that. This is on the corner of Main Street and we're trying to revitalize it. I think it's a very attractive design. I think a smaller design would be a hardship. I mean, I think it's unique because it's going to be very, very appealing, and we're trying to revitalize Main Street. So I really think that this is one of those things where it would be a much better opportunity to approve this as opposed to something like what we saw with Alley Oops. And I think they got how many, 800? What was that square footage on that sign? Because the rationale was it was one building.
6 lots.
So,
6 lots.
yeah. But this is a fairly large building, and it would be extremely unfortunate aesthetically if it were a small sign, and given how many people come to Main Street. So if it helps that the community supports it, I just wanted to make sure I said that. Thank you.
Good input. we feel similar, so.
Yeah, I agree with Ms. Weber. He has different ways that he could go about doing this, but he's doing something that wants to add value and benefit the community.
This would be a good one, I mean, because we,
I mean, his hardship, I mean, he doesn't have to have street side parking. He's grandfathered into an old system.
Yep.
The building, the original, give us some ideas, Mr. Nuri. You have helped us with this sometimes as well. No, I get it.
yep. Just up on the screen, shows you
This building being on Main Street, yeah, the size of the signage and the size of the building and not, theoretically, he has, they have off-site parking, all the other stuff that comes with it. So the size of this building is unique and grandfathered into the city. Because he wouldn't be able to, he wouldn't be able to do this in some other district in the city anymore. You'd have to have on-site parking, all the other stuff that comes with it. So this is kind of protecting the historical element of the community. Right? Just trying to help define the hardship so that we can help the applicant.
And Mr. Nuri, this is a good example of something that common sense, this would make sense, but with the hardship, it makes it a little challenging. Is there a way that we could look at these and with a special exception, you guys set some parameters, just because when we have bigger piece of property, we got this one with no parking, the improvements are gonna look great.
It's got two road frontages.
Two road
It's not your
frontages.
typical storefront or per location, because it's got two road frontages on it. You got Main Street and Ocean Boulevard.
Yes, I know, I'd say it'd be nice if it would, because as we're seeing this, we've got broad stroke on one paint job for everybody. But- Mhm.
Correct.
You think more on the double road frontage for the applicant? I mean,
I think maybe we need to look at this so we make it
yeah.
if it was a special exception, it'd make a whole lot easier. But this does have two, you got Main Street, you got Ocean Boulevard. And how would you use signages to? Not now, in the future.
In the future.
future.
A recommendation of city council.
Recommendation of city council. Just makes it so we've got. Mm-hmm. I know there's time taken, yeah. But look at it from this gentleman's perspective. Can we look at it to Mr. Bell's point, we got two streets. So does that help us on adding some square footage?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'd be willing to support that, Mendel.
Yeah. Well, I kind of agree. The building's got two road frontages. It would make the signage proportionate to the building, given the fact it's on two road frontages, so that presents possible hardship. I mean, if the board's in agreement with that.
I agree with it, and I like the sign the way it is.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that the board grant variance BZA -26-5 because the applicant has demonstrated an unnecessary hardship, specifically there are extraordinary exceptional conditions pertaining to this particular piece of property, given the fact it does sit on Ocean Boulevard and Main Street having double road frontage. These conditions do not generally apply to all properties in the vicinity. Because of these conditions, the application of the ordinance to the particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict the utilization of the property. The authorization of the variance would not be a substantial detriment to adjacent properties or to the public good, and the character of the district would not be harmed by granting of the variance. And I make a motion that we approve as suggested by the applicant.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Do we have a second?
I second.
Got a second from Mr. Reeves. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Great. Good luck with your project.
Who seconded
Very much. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
Look forward to seeing your new building.
In your future notes though, and I don't know how you report to council or not, but I would suggest, that be brought to their attention, that they should figure out a way to amend their ordinance to consider the square footage of the building, or the size of the amount of road frontage, or the number of entrances. There's lots of different variables that they could put into that ordinance that would allow for a sign that would be proportional to what the building itself is.
Do that?
Then we're coming up with the church one.
Yes.
Right. So I mean, it's the same thing, it's far off the street, so how you trying to, we're throwing everything into one basket. It's a challenge, really challenging.
Right. How to differentiate buildings, signage for buildings based on the size and the location, the amount of square footage of the building, the amount of
That-
road frontage.
That would help a bunch. Great, all right, let's move on to the next item on the agenda. We've got item number 5. We got BZA 26-06, an application by Elizabeth Pettit due to removal of a tree greater than 24 inches without a permit at 500 8th Avenue North. Ms. Pettit? Petite.
First, I'd like to apologize to the city because there's no way I would have let that man talk me into
Thank you.
cutting down any trees had I known we needed permits. Just so you know, this, what is that? This is the guy. I trusted to do the tree work in my yard. Anyway, the tree in question, you probably have pictures in your packet. If not, I have. Anyway, the tree had an infestation, as I've been informed, of some kind of termite. And Mr. Ackley said to me that this infestation was a danger to the rest of the trees in my yard, which of course I had no intention of losing any.
Have that video that you sent. Would you like to put it on the screen?
If you can tell me how, sure.
It's just an easy explanation when you see the video.
Okay. That ought to do.
Yep.
It was just like paper. And he said the whole tree was like that, and that when these bugs were finished with this tree, they would move on to the other trees in my yard. And so it had to go.
So the person that told you this is also the person that you paid to cut down the tree?
That's correct.
Did you ask him if he had a city license?
I did not.
Did you think it was strange his business card didn't have a local area code on it?
Well, he said he just moved here, and I still have a Texas area code, so no, it didn't seem odd.
That's probably 90% of the people live here.
Hmm?
Probably 90% of the people live here.
And
will
I
have
think
an
if you're a
alphabetical
business, you
code.
should have a local area code. That's the first thing that stood out to me
I was
there.
gone for a very long time, but I grew up here, so it matters to me that we do all the things we're supposed to do, and I'm He said he was an arborist. He's not that either. He still doesn't have a business license in the city of North Myrtle Beach, to my understanding. So I'm finding out all of these after the fact, and that's on me to not having done my homework. But he had done work for other neighbors, and so I thought he was legit and, recommended.
Yes, sir. Well, let us hear from the city, and then we're going to come back to you. Okay?
The board is tasked with determining the replacement value for the improper removal of a 24-inch oak tree and a 40-inch oak tree at 500 8th Avenue North. The ordinance requires that when a tree over 24 inches is removed without the approval by the board, the property owner shall apply to the board for the board to determine the replacement required to mitigate the loss of the protected tree or trees. As seen in the video produced by the applicant, that the arborist, that the tree cutter most likely would have concluded that, I'm sorry, I need to start that sentence over. As seen in the video produced by the applicant, that the arborist most likely would have concluded that the 40-inch tree was dying. City staff also verified that the 24-inch oak was beginning to hollow. Staff recommends that the board review the situation, hear the evidence presented at the meeting, and set what the board determines to be a suitable replacement.
Thank you, Ms. Caldwell.
How did this come to the city's attention?
I believe it was a complaint.
And when you got out there, was he still cutting the tree, or was it already gone by the time somebody went out there to check on it?
Sam. Okay.
Okay. Did Sam look at them and see?
Yeah, he could tell that they weren't healthy trees, but we don't make determinations on tree health. We rely on an arborist to tell us if the tree is dead or dying before we issue a permit.
Ms. Caldwell, even when we just saw that tree was done, you could peel stuff off.
Well, we wouldn't have been able to see that until I think they started cutting into it. Which is that? That was the outside? Staff that reviews trees for removal are not arborists. We don't want to make a call that a tree is not dead or dying and then it fall down the next day. Right. We don't want that liability, so we rely on a professional arborist to give us their opinion on whether the tree is dead or dying or dangerous before we'll issue a permit to remove it.
I'm almost inclined to let her have the ability to have an arborist write a letter and say that he would have taken it down because it is dead. It does present dead, and it was hollow and dying.
Yeah.
Than for us to find her. I mean,
You have to get an arborist to do it who can't see the tree now.
well, still part of it's still there, and the video as well, right? So you have the part of the trunk that's, you can see what he can look at the part of the stump that's hollowing out in the one picture.
Ma'am, how about coming up to the microphone, please? Thank you.
And then present the video for the other. I mean, that's kind of, I kind of struggle.
I think we sort of see your case, but we are going to need a letter from an arborist to.
Yeah, I don't know one.
I'm sure the city has.
The city will have somebody could you guys have somebody that we can recommend, or is there?
We could
couple?
let you know that you can Google that and find a local one because we don't make recommendations.
Yeah.
Right.
And the question is, how do we want to go with this? Do we want because you saw the trees falling apart. I mean, common sense should prevail here. You get an arborist, and then we
could table it. I mean, we could postpone it, and if you can come back next month with a letter, is that what you think?
Mm-hmm. Then there might be still, how would that work on the tree? She wouldn't be required to plant trees. If the arborist says.
If the arborist deems that the tree is dead or dying, we require a 1-tree replacement.
Okay.
Fine.
There's no minimum size on that tree.
And do we have to come before this board if she brings you a letter from an arborist? We wouldn't have to do that.
Just put it into motion.
Yeah.
That was on the 40-inch tree. What about the 24-inch one?
That was hollowed out. If you go to the next picture, that's the one that was hollowing out in the middle.
Yeah.
Already been penalized for that tree. I haven't started.
Well, the
Penalized for
the tree replacement, there's not really a penalty there, so that would be, we're trying to give you a path that makes more sense, common sense.
I want you to
So
plant the trees back.
Yeah.
Put the trees back. I was going to plant some magnolias and some flowering shrubs, and so now I, have to plant 48 inches worth of trees.
No, man, we're not going to.
No, that's what we're.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, anyway, that's a lot of trees.
Yeah.
But I want to plant trees anyway, so.
You plant some oak trees.
well, I have to plant 75% oak trees because
Okay.
that's the kind that was cut down,
Okay.
which
But
is
if-
fine.
Since she's gonna replant,
Sounds like she's doing
then just make,
Yeah.
make the
Yeah,
I mean, she's-
variance with what you want her to plant.
you want to just,
Then she, when we have to get a letter from, pay a letter, money for an arborist.
And you
Just
said-
tell her what you want her to do.
What she's talking about, 75%, what is she referring to?
So if we had issued a permit for a tree less than 24, it requires a 50% replacement, 75% with the same species that was removed. If an arborist gives us a letter that says a tree is dead or dying, it's a one-tree replacement, and it doesn't have to be the same species.
Okay,
If you were inclined to issue a variance, you could make conditions that it be an oak tree.
okay.
you want to do that now and save the arborist?
yeah, I'm fine. Go ahead, Ms. Lover.
Well, hold on now. I want to make sure I got it straight before I do that. So one tree that's an oak tree, but what, for the 40-inch tree, and then something for the 20-inch tree. I want 2 trees. She took down 2 trees.
I mean, just make her replace two. Yeah,
Okay.
2 oaks.
Do we know what kind of oaks they were? Red oaks, white oaks? any
I
oaks,
don't.
Pin
no.
oaks? Okay. I would make a motion that the penalty for, I don't see the variance number. Hold on. BZA 26-06, I'll make a motion that the applicant be required to replant, as a penalty for cutting the trees without a permit, she be required to plant 2 oak trees of between 2 and 4 inches in diameter on her property.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's my motion.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lover. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Bell. Any discussion? All in favor?
Who do I need to say to tell I've done that and so that it's like gone?
If you could come in and apply for a permit or apply online for a permit to plant 2 trees.
Oh, okay.
We don't usually issue permits to plant trees. We issue them after we receive the letter from the arborist. So it's a little bit different, but just apply for a permit, there's no fee.
And so these 2 permits that I had applied for, and one was denied and the other one was this one, they're both null and
Yeah, we
void
would,
at this point?
those would be null, and just
Oh.
apply for a new one and just do it for tree planting.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm going to go buy some
Thank you.
trees.
Thank
Look
you.
good.
Buy some good-looking ones. Don't buy little twiggy ones. I want
Okay,
2 to
that's
4
fine.
inch ones. They're pretty thick. Okay. 2 to 4 inch trees,
Oh, yes, absolutely.
not little sprigs, but something
Characters.
substantial.
In addition, can I plant pecan trees?
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever you want.
Yes, ma'am. Hickory nuts, pecans, plant them all.
Good deal, thank
You
you.
got a big yard.
Thank you. All right, we're going to the next item on the agenda. We've got item number 6, BZA 26-07, an application by John Rebry for a variance of the signage allowance for a church at 200 Highway 17 South, zoned office commercial in the OC Highway Commercial District, HC. Come on up and introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Mr. William Stapp. I'm actually representing Mr. Rebry.
Okay.
I'm the GC for the project there that the sign is being attached onto. So we just, we're building the new church there. So,
Thank you. Tell us, I went out and looked at the property and saw how far back off of 17 you all are. Can you show us where the buildings, the addition you're doing?
the addition is added on to the side of the building there, to the southern side of the existing sanctuary.
Okay.
The new sign will be attached directly to the building on about 4-inch standoffs, and will stand approximately 170 feet back off of the road frontage there on Highway 17.
How far do you have a picture of the plan for the additions?
I do. I did not have a paper copy, but I have it here pulled up. Show you guys that.
Because right now, that look like the existing building's roughly probably 300 feet off 17, close to 300 feet, I would think, because there's 4 lots.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and the building that we have now, this is the front of the building, is about 170 feet off of the highway itself, with the parking lot in front of it, which is the reason for the size of the sign, in order to ensure legibility from the distance.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Additionally, the entire property is 6.4 acres and has road frontage on 3 roads, Highway 17, as well as 6th Avenue and 2nd Avenue. It's going to give us a total collective road frontage of actually around 1,200 square feet. or 1,200 feet of road frontage between the 3 roads that we border the whole property.
Great, thank you. Any questions for the applicant?
No, I got one for the city.
Okay, give a second. We're going to hear from the city. Thank you.
Petitioner John Rebry has submitted an application for a variance to increase the allowable square footage of signage at the under-construction expansion of the First Baptist Church at 200 Highway 17 South within the Highway Commercial HC District. The sign ordinance allows up to 150 square foot of signage on this lot. The applicant is asking for approximately 377.8 additional square foot of building-mounted signage. Staff recommends that the board review the variance application and attach drawings and review section 233610E.
Thank you, Ms. Caldwell.
You're welcome.
How much signage is already there in total?
I was looking for permits for the words over by the childcare area. I don't remember what the words say, but a variance was issued to allow that additional square footage.
Yeah, I can remember they've been in front of us before and we gave them a variance for something that they added at some point in time.
Yeah, I was trying to find that case and I was unable to find it.
Okay, because I do recall that.
Yes, there was a variance issued for that additional wording on the building.
Okay.
Very good.
That was in 2012, okay. That was 13 years ago. No wonder I can't remember it. 14 years ago.
Variance, the sign that was approved for on that variance stated Family Life Center and is now obscured by the new building due to its placement further back and angled more towards 6th Avenue.
I guess that was where I was going to go with this question was the signage that's already there, can it be moved? Or is it still visible? Or are the new buildings covering up the old signage? Are you considering all the old variants that we gave them for other signage in the past when you're looking at this?
They wanted to remove square footage of existing signage and replace it with new. We would allow that because it's a variance for the property.
Okay,
It runs with the property for life.
okay.
And it's not specific to what they had showed you they were going to do. It's specific to the square footage.
Okay.
Sir, come on up to the mic, please. Hey, you heard Ms. Lover's question. Are you going to remove the other signage?
We most certainly can. In this case, the buildings are separate buildings and are not tied to each other. This is a new sanctuary, so the sign is indicating that it's part of the church, whereas the Family Life Center was indicating that specific building itself. It is no longer visible from Highway 17 in this case, so it couldn't be used to identify from the highway for people to access the building, which would cause a little bit of an issue just due to the fact that as a predominantly tourist town, you're going to have a lot of people that wouldn't be able to identify the church other than a steeple from the road. This is why we believe that, or we were asking for that. Additionally, just because of the road frontage and all that, we do believe it does cause a hardship to the land, just that positioning on the property and the size of the property is why we're asking for the variance for the additional sign frontage, or the frontage.
Understand?
So the variance that you got previously, you can't even see that anymore?
Not from Highway 17, no, sir. It can be seen from it can be seen from 6th Avenue, which is the angle at which the building sits, that building.
Do you think they have a hardship with the size of the lot? I mean, because it's a big lot. They have a huge lot. It goes from 2nd Avenue to 6th Avenue.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
It's got multiple entrances
yeah,
as well.
multiple street fronts.
I think what I'm trying to figure out is how much signage is there? They're allowed 150 square feet. How much signage is there if you have to consider the whole project, the whole lot thing? How much is there? And so what amount of variance are we giving
Are
them?
you taking down any signage at all?
Not in this case, sir. That building is not within the scope of the project, so we have not touched that building. We have built a new building which has 2 attachments to the existing sanctuary, not even to the Family Life Center. So the proposed signage will actually only cover approximately 6.3% of the new frontage of the building on the road. It is rather small in light of the entire frontage seen from Highway 17. If you've driven, as I'm sure you guys have driven by the new building, it's going to cover 2 of the cells of stucco that you see on the higher roof on the front of the building. So the actual percentage of square footage covered is quite minimal.
Any questions for the city?
No, we gotta get this fixed with city council. So we gotta get this fixed with city council. This keeps coming up.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm just like, trying to come up with a formula or something, you know?
That's where you come,
Yeah.
you come look at, it's a 6-acre tract. They got the same rule if it was a 50-foot lot.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I'm just thinking 6.5 acres, and they want a total. I'm trying to, what is the total that they want though? still?
377.8.
That's additional.
That's
Yeah.
additional.
That's additional. I'm saying, what's the total that we're,
150 plus that, right?
but what's already there?
Does it tell you how much in that variance that you put up, does it tell you how much of the square footage they gave in that last variance?
I am trying to pull that up for you right now, sir. I do have dimensions, but I don't see. That variance was an additional 55.27 square feet. So the sign, the Family Life Center sign, was a 200 square foot, so approximately 205 square foot sign, if that was all they were going over the 150. And actually, per the description of request, it would actually appear that up to 50 square foot sign there in description of request. Church, yeah.
You're asking for 227 feet?
The new sign as proposed is 377 square feet, sir.
Plus the,
Yeah, so he's got that plus,
Additional.
this is additional, 377.
above the
On top of the 150.
on top of the 150, he's got 527.
So he's got 200 technically. Because he had,
He's allowed 150.
he's allowed 150, so
But
he's got,
you're asking 200, he's
Is that
asking
one above?
He's at-
377.
he's asking for 377, so you have a total of 577.8
Right.
square feet of signage on that 6-acre tract.
With a roughly 1,200 square feet of road frontage between 3 roads.
And here's the thing, we got, driving down looking for a church out of town, and you're trying to look at the sign, and there's a safety issue no matter where you're at, even if you make it right down the street.
I mean, he's right, I mean, this doesn't even have 2, so this has got 2nd Avenue, 17,
Yep.
and 6. He's got 3 roads, I mean, it literally goes from 2nd Avenue to 6th Avenue, it's a 6-acre tract.
It's just all murky for me. What's proportional for 6.4 acres? What, we're trying to make a decision is what's proportional for 6 acres of property.
And just from the aesthetic
You
aspect
know.
of what they presented, it doesn't look
Yeah.
out of place, right? I mean,
You're
it's-
175 feet off of,
Right.
yeah.
the other lots are, the rest of the lots that have that same square footage is, you've already paid, so it's right on the road.
agree.
We're on this one, it's back
I
off.
don't think it looks, overdone,
no, it's not.
or, I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to figure out. What are we going on? Are we going on, oh, it looks okay, or are we going on, well, this should be proportional to this or that? These are the things that should be considered, because we don't have that guidance in the statute.
Right.
And then we're making a decision.
Well,
We
the
do, then we-
only
that's what
hardship
we
is
gotta
To do what we've done before is we consider the size of the property, 3 roads,
3 roads,
fronts, all that stuff, and that's, I mean, that classifies your hardship. We're staying,
That'd be on
we're
this one.
staying congruent and consistent with what we've been doing in the past.
Makes sense to me.
No, I agree with you. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to say, what is,
I mean, that's,
it's a whole bigger question is what is consistent when you look at the size of the property? If you say the size of the Alley Oops building, the size of that building we just looked at down on the boulevard, the size of this building.
but it's
What's
consistent with
the-
how we
Is there a
grant it.
percentage
Yeah.
somewhere? What formula do you use to
I
figure
mean,
it
I don't know,
out?
go back to Ms. Puffer's statement earlier, we approved 800 square feet at Alley Oops, right? for that huge piece of tract of land. And
Right.
this guy's asking for 577.8 square feet on a 6-acre tract of land.
Right.
You know, so it's still, I mean, he's still well within the proportion of what we have approved in the past.
Yeah.
And he does have, you know, 3 road frontages. I mean, to be stuck with 150 square feet just because it's a location
I agree with you.
creates a hardship for the applicant.
Well, it's
Yeah.
also how far,
I think the ordinance is a hardship.
Yeah, I do too, without a doubt.
and I think we're looking at it, the big thing is you're on 17, you want to see what you have, so we know what it is. So people aren't zigzagging and, oh, that's so-and-so church, I'm going to keep on going, or I'm
Yeah,
pulling
that's
in.
correct. Additionally, 60% of the congregants of this church are over the age of 60. So clear signage is very helpful for even just the existing congregants with a new sanctuary.
For sure.
Any questions for the city or the applicant? Trying to pull that up, I want to see something on here.
Mr. Chairman, I'll go ahead and make a motion if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board grant variance BZA-26-07 because the applicant has demonstrated unnecessary hardship. Specifically, there are extraordinary exceptional conditions pertaining to this particular piece of property, given the fact that it has 3 road frontages, it's on a 6-acre piece of property, and it sits 175 feet back from the road. These conditions do not generally apply to other properties in the vicinity. Because of these conditions, the application of the ordinance to the particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or at least restrict the utilization of the property. The authorization of the variance would not be a substantial detriment to adjacent properties or to the public good, and the character of the district would not be harmed by the granting of the variance and approving the request as is.
Okay, I second.
Got a motion by Mr. Bell, we got a second by Mr. Reeves. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right. The next item on the agenda, we've got item number 7. We got BZA 26-8, an application by James Baldwin for a variance to remove trees in excess of 24 inches in diameter at 1701 Springland Drive.
So, Mr. Chairman, before we get started on this, I am a stockholder, an active stockholder of the Surf Club. So, Mr. Nuri, would you recommend that I recuse myself from this conversation? Well, Mr. Chairman, since I'm an active stockholder of the Surf Club, I will recuse myself from this BZA item.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Bell. All right. Mr. Roy, if you can introduce yourself.
On behalf of the applicant, I'd ask that you table this motion. I think it'd be better for this board to go have a site visit to understand what's going on at the Surf Club. We are in the middle, or I should say, we've just finished phase 1 of a project in which we're going to change the Surf Club to a more campus-style facility and not just have one big building. One facet of that's already been completed. And I know it looks like there's a lot for these 3 trees to come down, but, you know, the Surf Club has 30,000 trees on the property. It's a large green space, probably the second largest green space here in the city outside of the 3 barefoot golf courses that are together. And I'd like to, you know, be able to demonstrate to you how we're positioning buildings to do things so we don't do anything to harm the integrity of the golf course, especially. In addition, when this project is completed, there's going to be more green space that's there because the overall size of the building is going to be a lot less than that big monstrosity that's there now. We've already taken down a portion of that building to do phase 1, and if it would be for the board, if they all wanted to do it together, that's fine. You want to do it individually, be more than happy to go out and show you what we have and what we're doing.
Sounds good. Makes sense. Okay, any questions for the applicant before do we need to postpone this or table it, Mr. Norrie?
Postpone it.
Postpone? Do we have a motion to postpone?
I'll make a motion to postpone.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Got a second, Mr. Reeves. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Since there's no other business, Mr. Norrie or Mr. Caldwell, we're going to close the meeting. All right, great. Can we get a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves. Second?
Second.
Get a second from Mr. Thomas. All in favor? Aye. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing.